Hey everybody, welcome to another Quicksave Review with me, RC. Quicksave Review, if you haven't seen it before, is basically a Let's Play mixed with a review with a game that I am currently playing, and I'm currently playing Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Guys, I gotta admit, I have been waiting for this game for quite some time, and I can honestly say the game released today. I actually have a video here. I'm not actually playing the game because just to let you guys know, selfish reasons in this quick save review. I'm just playing a video from about an hour and a half of gameplay that I played earlier, because I want to play and enjoy this game like completely, like just to myself. You know what I mean? This is one that I just gotta hold near and dear to my heart and just enjoy, you know, without me talking over what I'm doing and that kind of thing. So I figured what I would do is record my gameplay from earlier and talk over what I'm doing in the game here and what the game has to offer here. If you haven't played the Ori series before, the first game is called Ori and the Blind Forest. It's a absolute, in my opinion, masterpiece of a platformer. I actually have a review of it on the channel here, and I have another video that showcases all of the cutscenes and boss fights and that kind of thing from the game as well. So Ori and the Will of the Wisps basically picks up where that game left off, quite literally takes it from where the game left off at the end almost, where you play as Ori, who is taking care of a baby owl. And I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end of Ori and the Blind Forest, so just in case, because I feel like you guys should go back and play that if you haven't played it. But something happens to this owl, and now you're playing Ori trying to find the owl. That is basically what is going on here. So with Ori, playing as this little white creature here, you have different collectibles that you could find that will like upgrade your life and your magic and that kind of thing. Just so you know, again, if you're not familiar with the series, this is a Metroid-style game, or people like to say Metroidvania. That's what you're getting here. You're getting a game where you are, you're going to be collecting abilities and collecting different upgrades, fighting monsters and that kind of thing, and backtracking to collect other things. You got main quests, you got side quests, you got upgrades that you can buy, upgrades you can earn. You have slotted parts of Ori as well that will help you along the journey. You actually could input different slots, abilities that will help you along the way. One is, and you'll see it in some of the fighting we'll get to later on, that you can actually hit a button and you'll have a sentry butterfly that shows up, almost like a Mothra type situation, but much smaller. It's like mini Mothra. Will show up and help you fight, which is pretty cool. You have other things that you can equip Ori with, where Ori comes equipped with a wall climbing ability. You have one where right now basically what happens is he will grip the side of the wall, and normally he would slide down because he's trying to hold his grip, but you can get an ability, which I have equipped, that has him grip the wall and stay there. So at this point of the game, we're at the very, very beginning, okay? And you can see what we did right there. We just grabbed a torch. This is the first weapon you're going to get in the game, and much different from the first Ori. You're not using some kind of weird orb above you to actually fight the enemies, because in the original Ori, you could jump around and dodge and just keep spamming the attack button, and you would hit an enemy from wherever you are. In this one, it's a bit more complicated because Ori actually gets swords. Well, I guess it's like a light sword. It's almost like a light saber, really. Ori with a lightsaber. That's what they should have called it, Ori and the lightsaber. But yeah, you're going to fight creatures with swords and stuff, and creatures have a life bar. One of the things that I found in the options that I just turned on, I haven't actually been able to play around with it yet, but you can actually turn on damage numbers for the enemy. So if you want to see how much damage you're doing to an enemy, whether you're doing like, a 10 hit or a 12 hit or a 15, whatever it is, you're going to see that on the enemy, which is crazy because this game is just like supposed to be a cutesy platformer, right? But it's got this it's got teeth now. You know, it's got fighting, it's got damage numbers, and the other thing you're going to want to keep in mind is that this game gets hard too. So here is this stork here, and he is actually going to offer one of the side quests in the game. So I think his name was Talk, it said. So what Talk is going to do is basically throw out something for you to do, obviously a side quest type of thing. And when you come back, he's going to reward you for doing that. This particular first side quest that he gives you, I believe, is just part of the whole story. Some of his quests, I'm not even sure if you consider them side quests. They're sort of like along the way quests, that kind of thing. But either way, I think it's really, really interesting. The characters in this game, they talk to you a lot. Ori in the Blind Forest is actually a very, very quiet game for the most part. In Blind Forest, you basically had a gigantic ancient tree that would talk to you and reveal the story. In this one, that tree is back and does reveal the story. It actually talks through the whole introduction of the game. He's got sort of this deep, like, ooh, oh, ooh voice, you know, almost like Banjo-Kazooie style thing. But that voice is back, but in addition to that, you have all these other characters like this stork that you're going to be talking to. I believe there is a monkey that you run into that will teach you abilities. I think he was a monkey, if I remember right. And then one of the other characters, I don't even know what he is, if he's like a snail or some kind of goblin creature or something, but he sells you maps, so that way you can uncover more secrets and find different alcoves. Because that's one thing with this game, guys. This game is really thick. If you're looking for a Metroidvania game that has a lot of stuff to collect and a lot of stuff to find, a lot of secrets to uncover, this is going to be the game for you. So what we're stumbling into right here is a mini boss battle. This is not technically an actual boss battle. What this is the introduction of one of the first enemies you're going to run into in the game. So this is the first. They introduce this character, and you're gonna see this enemy in the game a lot after this point. That enemy, now if you come through this area, like after you die or come back after like a reload or something like that, that little guy that you just fought will be back there. They respawn, and it won't be considered like a mini boss battle. You won't be rewarded other than getting experience points from the enemy. So every enemy that you kill actually drops these orbs, and then those orange orbs are what you're going to end up using to upgrade Ori in multiple different ways, which is really cool. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting approach, that they actually had mini bosses in the game that, you know, they start out as like these tough characters, or they seem to be tough enemies, and then later on they just become like a normal enemy that you face all the time, which is, you know, it's not anything new in games or anything. It's been done before, but it's definitely something I don't remember from the first Ori. So you can see there, quest updated. So it's interesting to play an Ori game and it refer to what you're doing as quests. I don't remember them calling them quests, which is kind of cool that you have the option of doing all these side things if you want. One of the side quests that I got to do was actually a fun little race with a ghost, and we'll probably fast forward over to that. Let's actually fast forward a little bit further. Okay, so just wanted to fast forward here a little bit just to show you the first boss battle of the game. You get chased by this crazy wolf thing from the woods, right? So you got this chase scene here where you're trying to climb and get away, and Ori is pretty much at his weakest in the game at this point. Like, he's doing his best to get away, but you're going to see this wolf definitely gets hits on him, especially right here. He chomps him, but he knocks you right into where the torches are at, and then you can start hitting him in the mouth. So, truth be told, this fight actually took me probably a good 5 tries, I would say, to get through it, to figure out what I got to do. Because the wolf only fights at certain times. So this game really is about picking your chances and picking your battles and making sure that you're not jumping in too early. You know, like I said, this game, it's got teeth. This game is difficult. So the puzzles are going to be tough, the platforming is going to be tough, and the boss battles, and sometimes regular fights, sometimes those are going to be really tough as well. I've died quite a bit on just fighting like regular enemies because I made a dumb mistake, or I got too anxious and too jumpy to take them out, you know what I mean? I'm probably not going to show you how to beat this boss here just to avoid spoilers and everything like that. I am going to die again here, but then we'll fast forward again just to show you a bit more of the game. Man, this is a very scary part. The atmosphere in this part is just so thick. Like, so creepy, so scary with this werewolf thing. There you go, he took me out again. But here, let's fast forward to some other stuff. We're almost about an hour into the game at this point, And we are meeting up with the monkey character who can do upgrades for you. So the monkey character who does the upgrades is very interesting. I didn't know that there were monkeys in this forest. Or even if he is a monkey. I'm really not sure. But you can see here that a creature from what looks to be the original game may be back, which is kind of interesting. But once you make your introduction here with the monkey, you'll go into the point here where he'll let you know, hey, you can pick an upgrade. This very first upgrade is going to be discounted. However, you know, upgrades after that will cost more. The upgrade I decided to go with is the Sentry, which spawns a spirit orb that attacks for you, which is the butterfly I was telling you about. So this is actually pretty cool. When you go in here, obviously they're going to give you all these different options of upgrades to pick. And once you pick your upgrade, you're going to be able to throw it onto your button scheme. You get to actually pick where your abilities go. You have your obviously X, Y, and B button on your Xbox controller. So you have 3 abilities you can change willy-nilly at any time, which means you have 1 attack or 2 attacks and 1 that does something. Like, you could do whatever you want. You could even just not have an attack, but here is the selection wheel there. We set it to Y, and you can see we summon the butterfly there. Butterfly only stays for a short amount of time, but every time you use it, it does use a bubble of your magic down at the bottom. So you see here's the map. Look how big the map has gotten already. And we are still only in the marsh area of the game, which is insane to me. I've heard this game is much, much bigger than the first game. I could be misquoting, but I heard it's like 3 times as big, which is okay with me, because I'm a fan. And so far, this game has kept me on my toes and kept me entertained the whole way through so far. So here's one of the fights here, trying out the butterfly for the first time. And you can see the lightsaber there as well. So we've gotten the upgrade for the lightsaber a little bit further back in the video, but we just got the butterfly. So now every time we fight, you're going to be able to see me using this butterfly sentry, but also like fighting this thing. Some of the enemies I'm not even sure what they are. Sometimes they look like lizards. Sometimes they look like that guy in particular looks like a bouncing crab or something like that. I don't know what he is, but regardless, I really, really like the design of this game. Not only is the art beautiful, but the enemy design of this is really, really cool. I mean, you saw the wolf character that we were just looking at, and that thing was spooky. Very, very well done. So right here, I'm trying to figure out how to get into that little alcove area, but it doesn't seem like it's a place I can get to yet until we figure out how to break stone that is that thick or that big. Because your lightsaber sword thing, it can actually take out really thin stone walls, but it can't take out those big, thick ones yet. So we're trying to figure out what to do there. We're going to jump a little bit further into the video here. We're going to show off some of the platforming, because the platforming does start to get really, really cool as it picks up. Alright, so at this portion of the game, you're going to notice that there are these weird frogs that stick their tongues out, and you actually have to run on them or climb on them to get to where you're going. So you shoot them in the eyeball, they stick their tongue out with these platforms here, and then, actually I think I die right here. Yep, because I just realized that the next frog I had to hit was up there. So this is a good time to talk about the respawning in this game, though. Checkpointing and respawning in this game so far has been pretty forgiving. In the first game, you were basically the master of your own checkpoints. You could create your own checkpoints at, you know, most any time. You had to wait for it to you had to wait for it to reset so you could use it again. But it was really cool that you could basically pick where your save point was anywhere in the level. In this one, it just automatically checkpoints for you, which I do personally think is a better way of going about it, because you'll see the little Ori symbol down in the bottom left appear every time it does a checkpoint or a save. And the game is very forgiving. It offers a lot of checkpoints. You don't even really notice most of the time when it's going off. But when you die, you're pretty much starting right where you were. And like I said, it's very forgivable, and it doesn't get frustrating in that way. The only time I've really been frustrated in this game so far was with that wolf boss that I had just shown. When I died by the 4th time, I was just like, what do I gotta do different? And the frustration waned once I realized, okay, they're trying to teach you that this boss attacks a certain way, and I really need to be a little bit more patient about what I'm doing here. Once I figured that out and I was actually watching what I was doing and I beat him, I was like, oh, it kind of gets you, you know, and I definitely got it. But I really liked the aspect of this part here. I love the platforming with the frog eye things. You know, you shoot those and they stick the tongues out. And you're running up to do different things, which I think is great. In this particular scene, you're going to see me actually get one of the power-ups of the game. Not power-up, one of the collectibles, rather, which will you can then use to buy power-ups, is what I meant to say. So here, you know, you shoot the frog, and then you jump there. He'll be able to jump over here, and boom, we just collected it. So there's different sizes of those orange collectibles. It's basically experience points, if you want to think of it that way. That is the normal size. You'll collect a lot of those, but there are large ones too. There's large ones you can get that are just like, you know, they're huge. They give you a ton of experience points, and they're really worth seeking out because you're going to want to get all the upgrades you can for Ori, obviously. But as you can see here, like, the platforming starts to get more mingled and more complicated, and as we dig a little bit deeper into this area, it gets even more so than that. Okay, so jumping a little further into the video here, what you're going to see is me using the double jump and the newly found dash ability to actually get to higher places and to do some really cool platforming. This is the style of the game that I really, really like, because the platforming itself then becomes a puzzle. So what you actually have to do here, you'll see me do in just a second here, you're going to have to jump, and then double jump, and then dash. So you're going to basically get like a triple jump situation going on here where you have to climb all the way to the top. And you got to make sure you're watching out for obstacles and stuff. This thing is cool. That thing will shoot you up in the air, and then you got to use your ability to get over to the next wall. But yes, absolutely love that aspect of the platforming. I think it's so fun. Personally, I think it's my favorite part of the game. It's just like, like I said, how the platforming basically becomes its own puzzle and everything. I think it's very cleverly done. Right here, I'm trying to figure out how to get this item here. So just a second ago, I was talking about different collectibles that were bigger than... Oh, got really smushed right there. I was talking about different collectibles that were available at different sizes. There's one of the big ones. So we got a giant spirit light container there. That's going to give you a lot more. You want to be on the lookout for those, because they are definitely going to help. Alright, fast forwarding just a bit more, and where we're at here is, well, you can see this like crazy rhinoceros beast trying to take us out for us. I think I might, yeah, I was going to say, I think it might actually die right here real quick. But we're going to get back, what we're doing here is we're actually going to run up, and we're going to check out one of the side things that you can do in the game. It's basically running against your ghost. You guys remember ghosts from different racing games and that kind of thing. You know, you always race against someone who's got a better time than you. And that's what this is, basically. And it's actually, I feel like, because platforming in Ori is a lot of fun, I feel like it's actually a really smart add to the game. And you'll see what I'm talking about in just a second here. This, again, takes me about 4 or 5 tries to really get. I think that's the sweet number in this game, is about 5 tries seems to be where you're going to be if you're having difficulty with something. At least that's where I'm at. Considering I am a guy who has a 7-month-old baby and works full-time, maybe that's just the number for me. I don't know. But as you can see here, you activate the shrine, and basically it takes you through where you need to run, which I think is really, really smart. So it keeps taking you through. It's like, okay, you got to jump down here, do this, do that. And then you got to make it to the end of the shrine. Now, if you're able to get through within the time limit, because you get about 25 seconds on this one, if you're able to get through in the time limit, you immediately get 1,000 upgrade points, which is a huge number. All right, so you can see here, not doing too well, not doing a great job of keeping up with the ghost. Oh, and then totally beefed it right there. So, what I like is that every time you die, it'll actually go to that screen to show you what the path is again. So, if you get to a point where like you kind of were like, wait, where was I supposed to go? It'll show you again, and you can just press A to skip and get right back to the racing, which I think is great. I think it's nice, it's quick, it's smart, it's really good design, in my opinion. So here again, this is just my second run. I'm still flubbing it here. I'm not doing great. I'm still trying to memorize my area here. Basically, all we're doing is trying to get up there, and I beefed it again there. But I do eventually make it here. But yeah, again, I already said it, but I think this is a great add to the game. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what else is in the game as far as like fun added in things to do on the side. As a fan who is as someone, as I mentioned already, who's a fan of the platforming in this, having these little challenges is going to be a lot of fun for me, especially since they're going to offer so much in the way of, you know, challenge, you know? Okay, so that took me, what was that, the third try? However, you can see that I got 25.78. I was a little confused here at this point because I was like, oh, I finished it, but I didn't finish it under the time. I did not get the reward, so I had to do it again. So I was a little irritated because I'm like, come on, I was like this close, but I didn't quite get it. Great add to the game, though. I think it's really, really cool. Alright, so I figured we'd kind of get to the end of this video just by showing off a bit of how secrets are handled in Ori. You're going to see in this section here, this is going to take me a few different tries to try to get. But basically, you get through all of these bricks that are dropping, trying to smush you, and you're trying to get through where this brick is at. However, I can't get through just yet. And why is that? Well, you're going to find out that up there in the top corner, there is a frog eye that you have to shoot with an arrow, and that will basically reveal where you need to go, or rather, reveal the secret behind that stone wall of where you need to go. So the way to do this is you'll go up here. See, I was getting in there thinking like, oh yeah, I could shoot it from in there, but that was dumb. But basically what happens is Ori will jump up there, and when you hit the button that uses that arrow ability, what's really, really cool about it is that it will actually slow time. So it gives you time to kind of figure out what you want to do in midair, shoot it, and then after you shoot it, you can get down and claim your prize, basically. So let's see if I can get this. I feel like I had a lot of trouble just trying to get this one, trying to line it up, because you get the jumping in Ori is interesting. It's like you don't get a lot of vertical. Oh, see, I thought I had it right there. You don't get a lot of vertical height. You don't get a lot of height off of your jump. You get a lot of like maneuverability horizontally, but a lot of times if you jump, all your height is going to be in that first jump, and then the double jump will give you just a smidge of height, but it's mainly trying to get you over to the side. What was interesting about this part, if you listen closely, you can hear a stone moving. And that stone moving was actually the stone that's on the other side. I did activate that eyeball, but I think the game glitched or something like that and didn't give me the credit for it. And it's funny, like, I'm watching back on this video now, I don't know why I was having such a hard time with this, but I was. Chalk it up to the tired thing. Okay, there we go. We got it there. I got smushed again, but luckily the stone was still gone. So we can get over here, claim our prize, and boom, there we go. So that was and you get the quick shot there, where you can shoot more rapidly, which is pretty cool. However, and here's where the spirit shards are. This is where you can equip 3 different shards to do different things, which is actually pretty cool. I think that is like such a great add to the game as well. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much where I'm going to leave you here. I don't want to spoil too much of the game. I just kind of want to show you what this new Ori game is all about, because I feel like they've done a absolute masterful, wonderful job so far. I'm at the probably like 15 minutes away from like a 2-hour mark, somewhere around there. I'm almost at the 2-hour mark with this game, and I'm not bored of it. I'm still having a lot of fun with it. I can't wait to see where it's going to go next. I can't wait to see what they're going to introduce next. This is any kind of Metroid fan or platformer fan's dream. This is a beautiful game with a lot of challenge, a lot of great things to do. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. It can't be overstated how beautiful this game really is. But this is actually a perfect place to end. It ends with me opening this door finally to get into where the next quest is. But like I said, guys, wonderful game. Definitely worth your time. And I know, like I said, the reason why I'm doing this via video is so I can revisit what I've already done, and I can be selfish with this game and just play it on my own time, because this is that type of game where I was just like, you know what, this game is for me. I have to just enjoy this alone because I'm just having so much fun with it. But guys, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video or was helpful in any way, just give me a GGRC in the comments. But guys, as usual, just want to say thank you for watching, and of course, I'll see you all in the next Quicksave Review. See you then.